If you're one of the few people who actually watched my video from Wednesday when we went to the Columbia Comic Toys and Collectibles Expo, you'll remember that I picked up a couple Super Famicom games. Now, I mainly picked these up for the novelty of owning them because I've been into Fire Emblem a lot recently, and the two games I picked up were two Fire Emblem games that were not released here in the States. But an interesting thing about it is that while Japanese games supposedly don't work in American systems, that is only because of a hardware lock. If the games could fit in the systems, they'll play just fine. And because there's a hardware lock, you can do one of two things to actually get around it. You can modify the cartridge tray that is in the system, or you can just buy an adapter that bypasses that hardware lock and that allows you to connect the games to the console. And since I don't want to do more hardware mods to my systems than I absolutely have to, that's what I did. This is the MyArcade Super Cartridge Converter. I found this on Amazon when I was looking for a cartridge adapter, and I thought, hey, let's give this a shot, let's see how it is, and I'll pass on what I learned to you guys so you can decide if this is something that you might want as well. Let's adjust the camera and I'll show you what little bit of an unboxing that there is, and we'll show you the cartridge connections, and we'll show it actually in use back in the game room. All right, let's do it. So like I said, the unboxing of this is rather underwhelming because it is just the adapter and its paperwork. I have not even actually looked at this paperwork because it seems kind of unnecessary, because it is in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different languages, and it's only this thick. So as an English speaker, I really only need that. Just that little bit right there, because then it changes to, then it jumps to French. So we don't really need this. But what we're here for is this guy. So it does actually feel surprisingly similar to a Super Nintendo cartridge. Obviously the color's different because it can be, there's no need for it to match. It does have a nice fit to the weird shapes of the cartridges, like how the cartridge has this little like angled bit here. When they are pushed together, that actually is cut into this, so it's a nice snug fit all around. It looks like they modeled this almost straight after an American Super Nintendo cartridge. The build quality of the adapter itself actually is really good. It's slightly more flexy than a Super Nintendo cartridge is, but it's not any kind of flexible that I would be concerned about it. Like even doing this, I'm not at all concerned that it's gonna pop in my hand or anything. So any kind of potentially aggressive putting in and taking out of the system is not gonna be any kind of a worry to damage this guy. And I appreciate the attention to detail. While the color is definitely off, the texturing on the plastic itself is basically the exact same as you find on the Super Nintendo. So if they could have done a little better job color matching it, then this would have been dang near perfect. But if that's the only complaint I really have about the aesthetic of it, then I think that they did a pretty good job. And as I said, the Super Famicom cartridge just fits right in. You'll drop it right in. It locks in place, and that allows you to play your games. Now, the whole reason you need this, like I mentioned earlier, is because there's actually a hardware lock in the system itself. I don't know if you can see it there, but I don't know how well you can see it, but right there is a little nub sticking out, and there's one on either side. The American Super Nintendo cartridges have little slots in them that will wrap around those little nubby things. So when you drop the cartridge in, it will actually go around and set down into the system and onto the cartridge pins. Whereas a Famicom game does not have those little cutouts in the back. This guy will drop in, but then hit a barrier and make it to where it can't go any further. That is where this guy comes in, because this does have the little cutouts in the back. So this will just drop right in, fit right over those little things, and seat down onto the pins. So now all you have to do is drop your Super Nintendo game onto the cartridge adapter and you can play your games. And since it is the exact same design as the bottom half of a Super Nintendo cartridge, the eject button still works for getting the entire thing out. It is a very simple design, so there's not too much to show. So we're gonna go now into the game room back there, and we're gonna test it out using the Fire Emblem games. All right, so I've got the Super Nintendo set up, and I've got the adapter here. As you can see, that just slots right into place. And the Super Famicom game just drops right on top of it. And then you turn it on just like you normally would. And it's working. Simple as that. One additional thing to note about this guy is it's sort of designed to be put into your Super Nintendo and kind of just left there. Not only does it work with the Japanese games to play those on your system, but it also works with your regular American games. It is just a pass-through after all. It is not a signal converter or anything. It is just an extender for the cartridge pins inside the Super Nintendo, so that way you can get around that region lock. So if you wanted to just put it in there and leave it in there, you can use it with your American games or your Japanese games, and both will work just fine. You can drop a regular American Super Nintendo game onto it. And it works just the same. So there is one potential issue I see with this guy, and it's the fact of what I can only assume is games with the Super Effects chip in it. Because as far as I can tell, a normal, average, run-of-the-mill Super Nintendo game has the cartridge pins down here and just has one set of them. Whereas Stunt Race FX here has additional pins on either side of the normal cartridge pin. The adapter here has the ability to accept the cartridges with the extra set of pins, but then it does not have those extra set of pins here on the bottom where it actually goes into the Super Nintendo. Now, I know there are some Super Famicom games that are like that as well, and it begs the question of, is that going to cause issues with games that have it? And I can only say I don't know, because I tried it with Stunt Race FX here and it worked just fine. There was nothing really that I saw in playing it through the adapter that looked like it was causing any kind of an issue. But that was just this one game. There might be an issue with other games that have these. Like, I think Mega Man X3 has them. If it's a Super FX thing, then Yoshi's Island has it, Star Fox has it, and there might be issues in those games, but I can only go with what I've tested, and I've tested it with the Super FX game that I have, and there seemed to be no issue. But again, your mileage may vary on that with if you're looking to play one of those specific games. But for something that doesn't have those extra pins and it just has the normal set, then there's no issue. It works just fine. So yeah, if you're needing a way to play Super Famicom games on your American Super Nintendo, this is a good option because it's solidly made, it gets the job done, and the best part is it's actually really cheap. This thing is like $15 right now on Amazon. I am a little bit concerned about the pin issue that I mentioned, but I didn't have any issue with the one game I tried. So if anybody down in the comments knows like what those extra pins are actually for, then if you could let me know in the comments, I'd really appreciate that, because I thought it might be more critical for the use of like Super FX games, but it didn't cause a problem for this game at least, so maybe it's not a super big issue. I don't know. I'd have to try a bunch of other games that I don't currently have, so we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully it'll work just fine. But I think that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to bringing you even more videos just like this one as the days go on. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you like what I do here, then hit subscribe because that helps me out a lot. So again, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.